Yo, yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Sunday fun day, man. Y'all know the vibes. Let's get to it. How was everybody's weekend? Everybody had a good weekend? Yes, sir. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. It's game time, baby. How was everybody's weekend? Everybody had a good weekend? Nice, man. Let's get it, let's get it. If you guys have a second before we start here, be sure to smack that like button real quick one time for the one time, man. Sunday, we got a big week ahead. End of the month. Let's get it. Let's start the August off right. Was it August? No, we're going into August. Let's get it. I'm ready, man. Let's do it, let's do it. Good weekend, man. I had a good weekend as well, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for asking. What's good, Tasha? How you doing tonight? Steven? How you doing? How you doing? Rusty Ray, Patrick. What's good, Greg? My man Steven, Jaden. What's up, man? You ready for tomorrow? Felix, what's up, man? Trading Mom, how are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? Good weekend. Nice, nice. Love it, man. Love it. Hey, man, that's a good weekend. Alrighty, cool. Everybody can see clear. Everybody can hear clear. Let's go ahead and hop into it, man. Yeah, I want to first say thank you guys for taking time out of your night to come kick it. We're going to have a great night tonight. It's going to be full of value. So let's go ahead and hop into it. First things first, you guys know, as always, we hop into the economic data for the week ahead. So let's go ahead and pull that up real quick. We'll go ahead and cover this. I'll zoom in on the chart, and we'll get into the watch list and my market analysis, all right? Let's see. Let's get it. What's up, Willie? What's good, Mike? Let's get it. What's up, Ryan? How you doing, man? Taekwon, what's up, man? Thank you for taking time out of your night to come kick it. Alrighty, you guys, let's hop right into it. So, this week, where we at? July. We're going to have to go to investing.com. So, for those who don't know where to go for economic data, I usually go to Econo Day. But sometimes Econo Day, they bullshit, and they don't upload the site for the new months. So, at the end of the month, sometimes I'm going to have to go to investing.com, or you're going to have to go to investing.com. So what you're going to do is go to investing.com. You're going to click on economic calendar. It's going to pull you up to a page like this, and I'm going to show you guys what I do to get straight to the point. So what you're going to do is go to filters. You're going to go to underneath country. You're going to hit clear. You're going to scroll down to the United States. Click the United States. Click apply. And then we will have everything we need for this week. So here we go. Right, I'm going to go ahead and zoom this chart in so you guys can see a little bit better here. And let's get this thing cracking. What's up, Caesar? What's up, Vaughn? How y'all doing? Let's get it. Let's get it. Watch out, Turbo. Come on. Nice, Adam. That's what's up, man. Turbo's over here my way. So, for the week ahead, right, starting Monday, July 31st, we have Chicago PMI, which is at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In terms of importance, I would rate this probably a 5 or 6 out of 10 in terms of influence on the market. Nothing extravagant there. Tuesday, August 1st, we have ISM. ISM and JOLTS, right? So if you look here, we have ISM and JOLTS. This is important for the market. In terms of influence, I would probably say if everything was good or if everything was bad, I would probably say like a 6, maybe a 7. Definitely see a little volatility from these, but nothing that is going to shake the market completely. Wednesday, we don't really have anything too crazy. Let me see. No, Wednesday we're good to go. Thursday, we have, as always, we have jobless claims. That is going to be at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we're going to have factory orders, which is at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. along with ISM as well. Thursday, this is regular, right? In terms of market influence, I would say probably a solid 5 or 6. Nothing crazy, nothing crazy. But on let's see here. Scroll down a little bit. Let's go down to Friday. Friday. We do have payrolls, right? Payrolls are actually pretty influential in terms of the market. We can see a little volatility from this. So this is probably the biggest economic data we have of the week, which is Friday. Non-farm payrolls, government payrolls, payrolls across the board. All right, so we're going to pay attention to these on Friday. I would highly encourage you guys not swing from Thursday into Friday in case we did see, a nice reaction from this data. In terms of influence, I would give this a solid 7. But yeah, so 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday, we have payrolls. Everything from non-farm payrolls to government payrolls to unemployment rate, etc., etc., etc. So Friday's pretty influential. Everything outside of that's pretty much regular degler. But yeah, so pretty light week in terms of economic data. Now what I want to talk about is the earnings week ahead, right? We have an absolute huge week ahead in terms of earnings. Let's go ahead and break that down real quick. I told you guys I would break down my #1 earnings strategy that I love to trade. It's honestly my favorite setup for the next day that it possibly can be. Let's go ahead and pull this up real quick. Let's hop over here to Earnings Whisper. This is what I look for earnings. So if you guys are wondering where I get my earnings calendar from, it's from Earnings Whisper. You can go on Twitter, go to their page. They're kind enough to post it every week for us, all right? What's up, Steadfast? What's up, Adam, man? We got an alert going off. What is that? NQ is crossing something. We'll check that out in a minute. So this week, it is an important week, right? I'm going to make some highlights here for you guys. Starting off before open on Monday, nothing too crazy. SoFi, I know a bunch of people like to trade SoFi, but that's not what I'm interested in, all right? So nothing pretty much extravagant for Monday. Tuesday, this is when the fun begins. We have Uber, which is pre-market on Tuesday. We have Cat as well. This is another potential good setup for us. But after close on Tuesday, the big one I'm watching is going to be AMD. We have AMD Tuesday after close, okay? This is one that I'm very interested in. I'm also interested in MicroStrategy, and I'm going to explain to you guys in one moment why I'm interested in these names and why earnings are important for us as traders. So Tuesday is when the fun begins. Wednesday, the fun continues. We have PayPal and Shopify reporting after August. Uh-oh, something just happened. Can you guys still hear me? My screen just kind of froze. Can everybody still hear? Let me see. Everybody still good to go? Alright, we're back. I think we're back. Let me see. Can y'all hear? Y'all see clear? Everything's good? Awesome, cool. So, yeah, the fun continues into Wednesday. We have PayPal, Shopify, and QCOM. These are 3 that I'm very, very, very interested in. We also have Etsy. This is a fun one to trade if options are liquid. But the main focuses on Wednesday are going to be PayPal, Shopify, and QCOM. The big names, the big boys are coming out on Thursday. Big tech, this is pretty much the most important of the week until obviously next earnings cycle. Amazon, Apple, as big as it gets, right? They're heavily weighted in QQQ and SPY. They're very influential to the market. And I want to talk about a couple scenarios with these names. But, so Amazon, huge focus. Apple, huge focus. I also like Coinbase. I also like Block, which is SQ. And I also like Airbnb, right? So I'm just going to circle a few of these names here. And we're going to tally them up in a moment. So let's circle all these names we like here. Let me go back and go through this real quick. But Amazon and Apple are the focuses of the week, pretty much for everyone. The whole market is going to be waiting on Amazon and Apple. It's going to be very influential to price action and sentiment moving forward. So everybody has their eyes on Apple and Amazon. Now, I want to talk about why earnings is important for us as traders in terms of setups. So each one of these names that reports earnings, right? They let us know how they're doing as a company. We have insight into their actual financials in terms of revenue. They're making money, they're not making money, what's going on with the company, etc., etc. So what you'll notice a lot of times is when these companies report earnings, they're either going to meet expectations or they're not going to meet expectations. And if they're going to meet expectations, sometimes they beat expectations, a double beat at that, right? A lot of times you'll see when they do beat really well or they do miss by a lot, you're going to see a big move off of that name from earnings, right? Whether it's up, whether it's down, right? It does not matter. As long as it's a big move. What that does for us is that creates a post-earnings setup, right? And why these earning setups are important, because a lot of times what we're looking for when finding names in play is a catalyst to trade. We want to know that the stock has think of it like this, right? If you're going to, say for example, right, you're going to work, right, and they offer you 10 paychecks, right? But you can visually see each paycheck and say, hey, okay, this one's worth X amount, that one's worth X amount, this one's worth X amount, this one's worth X amount, right? You have 10 different paychecks, and you notice there's one for $10 and there's one for $10,000, right? I'm not talking about actual dollar amount. I'm just giving you guys an example here. You're obviously going to say, hey, I want to be paid that big paycheck, right? I want to have the opportunity to make that 10K versus making that $10. That is what the quality of setups I'm referring to with the earnings here. The earnings catalyst is a motivator for the stock to actually move. So when you get that big gap up or that big gap down, we're left the next day to 1, take a bounce or a reject, and 2, trade continuation off of that name from that earnings catalyst, called a second day move, right? So bottom line here with earnings is each and every one of these names that is reporting is important to us, as this is a potential A+ post-earnings setup, right? Now, what is important when you're looking at those post-earning setups? What are the components that go into it to make you want to say, hey, I want to trade this? I'm going to go through it with you guys right now, all right? So let's go ahead and break this down real quick. I'm going to put a little note up here. You guys can screenshot it, do as you please. I'm going to put a little arrow down here so you guys can see what's going on. I have a post-earning setup. Let's go ahead and do this thing here. So first thing first, big move up or down, right? Here, let me actually number this. I'm gonna number this for you guys. Big move up or down, right? Obviously, find a potential setup. Number 3, as options traders, number 3 is the most important, right? Make sure the options chain is liquid, right? Very important, right? What I mean by that is the liquidity on the actual options chain. Not the stock, but the options chain, because we are options traders. We want to be able to make sure that we can get in the stock and we can get out efficiently, right? So that means pay attention to the actual volume on the contracts that you're looking to trade and make sure that the spreads are tight, right? You do not want to trade an illiquid stock with wide spreads, as you're going to pretty much be pissing in the fan, right? You're going to buy a contract, you're going to be down because the spreads are so wide, you're buying the ask, and the bid is significantly far away, which is the spread in between the bid and the ask. So it's not good, right? 3, liquidity on the options chain. Right? So what you guys can do, right? Every week you can go to earnings whisper, right? You can go look at the earnings calendar, right? You can go look at the lineup. You can say, okay, I know Uber's a great name. So what I like to do is I like to trade names I trade anyway, right? We always trade Apple. We always trade Amazon. We trade PayPal. We trade Shopify, SQ, Airbnb, right? We trade these companies that we know are solid, right? I'm not going to go and look for an earnings setup on freaking, say for example, ACM Research. I don't even know what that is, right? That's going to be extra work for me. If I want to go trade ACM, I got to do a whole boatload of things. I got to go look at the company, make sure it's a good company. I got to go make sure the stock is liquid. I got to go make sure the options chain is liquid. So what I like to do in terms of my earnings, my post-earnings strategy, right? I like to trade names that I know are valuable, right? Are profitable, and they're good companies, and they're liquid in terms of the actual stock and options chain. So all of these names that I have circled here, I know for a fact that they're great companies, and whether they miss or whether they beat, I know for a fact the options chain is going to be liquid enough for me to trade the next day. So that eliminates the whole portion of the post-earnings setup. All I have to do is find one of these names that has a big gap up or down, chart it, plan my trade, wait for the market to open, and trade my plan. That is it, right? I have an A+ post-earnings setup, has a beautiful catalyst, which is that earnings, so everything's ready to go for me, right? So in terms of what you can do, go to Earnings Whisper, it's not often, right? It's a cycle. There's earnings cycles when we have these big names reportings. So it's not going to be every week, obviously. But these are the names that you want to pay attention to. Those big household names that you are aware of, that are profitable, they're concrete, right? So this week we have a ton of them, right? So if we're looking through here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, even Pinterest. Pinterest is a good one. Starbucks is a good one, right? So let's just do a rough estimate here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have roughly 10 to 12 potential, right? I'm going to say potential because I don't know if these stocks are going to move or not for earnings. So we're going to say 10 or 12 potential A-plus post-earning setups this week. That is why I'm excited to trade. Now, referring back to the analogy I gave you guys with the paycheck at work, I have 10 or 12 potential big paychecks, right? I know these post-earning setups are quality. They're high probability, especially when we have that big gap up or big gap down, that I can put a little bit more size on, and I'm going to see a little bit bigger return, but I also need to be aware of the downside and say, hey, okay, if I am sizing up, it needs to be a little bit, I need to be aware of the risk as well. So, just setup-wise, these are great setups, post-earning setups. Make sure you're trading those names that are concrete, right? But, yeah, let's hop into the chart. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in terms of the earnings setup. It's very simple. We're just looking for those quality names that are reporting earnings, that have a big move up or a big move down, charting them, planning our trade, and trading our plan. We have a quality with catalyst, which is the earnings. So that is our motivator to find that name that is in play. All right? So we have a huge week this week. Amazon and Apple are the stars of this show, and we have a ton of other underneath of them that we could trade as well. AMD, Uber, Caterpillar, Pinterest, MicroStrategy, PayPal, Shopify, Qualcomm. There's a ton of them that we can trade, so I'm very excited for this week. We should have a ton of value. At least a couple of these names are going to beat. We have Square and Airbnb as well. So I'm very excited for this upcoming trading week. And yeah, let's go ahead and break it down and find out what we're trading and why we're trading it. As always, we always start with the futures, which are NQ and ES. I know not many of you guys trade futures, but I'll break them down very brief for you guys. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to breeze through them today. Because we already know what they look like, right? We didn't really move much last week. We did a lot of consolidation. Charts are pretty much the same. I do want to go over a macro picture of these actual charts. And if you look here, man, I talked about this last week, right? Steadfast, please don't spam, man. That's all I ask. Good vibes, don't spam. But if you look at these charts, man, I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I felt like this move was just like a snap of the fingers. I look up and we're almost back at all-time highs. I just couldn't grasp this move. I talked about this last week. It's a little frustrating. I was invested long-term. I do have a big portion of long-term, but nowhere near that I wanted, right? I wanted a lot more in my long-term. I just didn't grasp this move personally, right? I just didn't. It just happened so fast, it seemed like. But here we are, pretty much back at all-time highs. If you look at the chart here, we're trading roughly 4.2% away from all-time highs on QQQ and NQ. Just absolutely insane. We're roughly 2 big green days away from being at all-time highs. It's just crazy to me, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. But the monthly chart, we're starting to see some slowing of momentum, right? If you look at volume here, volume starting to slow down. This monthly candle is actually very important. So the close of this month is something that I'm paying attention to. And Apple and Amazon will play a huge part on that. So the monthly chart's kind of a little indecisive right now. We need to see that close. Monday's going to be very important, which is tomorrow. In terms of the weekly chart on NQ, we did see a little bit of weakness, which was 2 weeks ago. Had this nice inverted hammer here. Immediately got bought back up off that retest of those previous highs. As you can see over here, just essentially a break and retest. We held that, seen some strength last week, and here we are, right? So we didn't really do much last week. I figured we'd see some continuation after that weak inverted hammer off of that supply. But hey, here we are, right? So going to the week ahead, I'm very open-minded. Reason being is because we're still bullish, right? If anybody's bearish on this chart, they need to get their fucking head checked, all right? The only reason that you could be a little bearish is the fact that we're sitting at supply right now, right? So if you look at this chart here, we're sitting at 16,000, which is a major resistance. Last time we tested this level, it sent us to a 52-week low, put in a lower high, 52-week low again, 52-week low again, 52-week low again, again. We bottomed and reversed, right? So the last time we tested this level, we did see a nasty reaction. Here we are testing it again. We already seen one nasty rejection. So right now, if we were to look at this chart, we're literally just sitting in between of a major supply and a major demand, right? So our resistance here is 16,000, and then we have our daily resistance that was broken and is now a support, right? So if you look at this chart here, we can see we're just sitting in between a big supply and demand. This is a consolidation, right? So now we have a big move up and we're consolidating. This was resistance, turned to support, essentially a break and retest, which is a high probability strategy in itself. And yeah, man, so right now we're just consolidating here on NQ. There is a lot of value in these levels, though, and I'm going to break them down on QQQ because I don't want to complicate you guys with NQ and QQQ, so I'll just translate the levels straight to QQQ. Last week, I feel I didn't really grasp what I needed to grasp either. I found myself trying to go short a lot last week. I felt that was because of the macro picture that I had in my head on the market. But this was a beautiful daily break and retest, as you guys can see here. Should have just been long in QQQ and NQ off of this demand. Beautiful break and retest here. As you can see, we had a nice little triple bottom, big move up, big move up, big move up. So I should have been more focused on long setups last week. I don't know why I wasn't, but hey, here we go. Someone said, please fix the sound. How is the sound for everybody? Is the sound okay? What's going on here? Is the sound good? Let's do a little sound check. Everybody good to go? Put a 1 if the sound's good. Put a 2 if it's not. Awesome. Everything's good. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, so that's NQ. Let's hop over here to ES, and then we'll get into QQQ and SPY. So ES, similar chart, right? Obviously, right now we're trading into a major supply. This is a monthly supply. This is a weekly supply. This is a huge, huge resistance, as you guys can see here. If we were to happen to break this level, next level all-time highs, right? So if you look at this monthly chart, we're sitting at the last resistance until all-time highs. Thank you guys for updating me and let me know the sound is good, by the way. But yeah, ES, beautiful chart, except right now we're sitting at a major supply, right? So if we go down on the lower time frame here, if you look over to the left, you can see we are sitting in a major, major, major supply, right? Last time we tested this area, tested it once, came back up, created a double top, sent us to 52-week lows, 52-week lows, 52-week lows, 52-week lows, and then we reversed, and then here we are testing this same area. If I was to break down these last three weekly candlesticks, I do see some weakness here, right? I do see some weakness. Got a nice little top wick here. Attempted to go higher, right? But we closed below, and here we are. So this weekly candle is actually very important for the week ahead, and I'm definitely interested in seeing what we do here. But for the week ahead, wow, look at this resistance. This is the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful level here, right? This is literally pinpoint. As you guys can see, this was a massive level back at the beginning of the year, and then here it is. We're pinned below it. So right now, SPY is sitting at a major macro supply, right? This is the only bearish case I see. If we break this high here, we have room into all-time highs, right? So this is the last major resistance until all-time highs. The levels that I will be watching, I know some of you guys trade ES, so I'll go ahead and break this down real quick. The levels that I will be watching are this 46.25, 46.35 for a potential reject off of that macro supply. The line in the sand for the upside is going to be that 46.35. If we can get back above that, if we get back above 46.35, we have nothing but room into all-time highs. Mark my words. And Apple and Amazon could be the potential catalyst that we need, right? The fan, yeah, that's my PC. I can't do anything about that, man. So hopefully it's not too loud. Downside, for those of you like taking high-risk trades, look to go short below 4,600. Below 4,600, you got room down into 45.80, right? But let's hop straight into QQQ and SPY. I'm not going to go over these too much in depth because I know a lot of you guys don't trade futures. But this is a beautiful chart. Beautiful chart. We're sitting above a beautiful demand, and we're sitting below that huge supply. So there will be a lot of value in ES and SPY. This is a beautiful break and retest here. You can see it was a major resistance. Resistance, turn support. It's a nice move off of that. Retested, nice move off of that. So we're just pinned in between this big demand and this big supply, ping-ponging back and forth. So those are the two areas I'm going to be watching. Let's jump right into SPY. I'm going to show you those areas. So we've seen these higher time frames, right? We've seen ES, we've seen NQ. Let's talk about QQQ and SPY. So SPY here, right? As we just talked about on ES, we're just pinned into a massive range, right? We have a big range here. Um, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we can take high risk entries, but I'm honestly gonna wait for the range to be broken. So the upside line in the sands 459.50, right? So if we get above 459.50, that's when we have room into those all-time highs. Downside line in the sand is this 452. If we can get below 452, we'll likely see that 450, that 448.25, and then that 445, 445 massive demand, and that's where I'll look to take a long swing trade from. But high risk entries, right? I like this 455 level, right? As you guys can see throughout here, this has been very, 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 very respected. So I do like this level for a potential downside trade, right? So what I would look at is a nice clean break and hold below 455. Look for that retest, go short down into 452. I like that, right? That is high risk, but I do like that. The two main levels I'm watching, the upside is 459.50. Above that, likely see all-time highs. Below that 452, we'll likely see more intense downside, okay? So very simple watch this week with SPY, just waiting for a break in either direction essentially, all right? QQQ, very similar, right? We're pinned above that massive demand and we're pinned below that massive supply, right? We have a nice little triple bottom here on the hourly and we have been pretty strong. So QQQ, the main levels that I'm watching, the line in the sands, you want to talk about them real quick, 388. If we get above 388, we'll likely see that move into all-time highs at 400, okay? So that's the line in the sand for the upside. Downside, we're watching this 372, right? I know you guys are probably thinking, why not these hourly highs? Well, that's because of that big daily demand that I talked about, right? So we're going to watch that 372 instead. High-risk entries, right? You want to talk about high-risk entries real quick. 385, right? So if we break and hold above this nice little hourly structure, we can look to go long, right? So if we get a clean break and hold above, preferably a retest for an entry, we can look to go long in that 388. It's about a $3 move, so we can catch a nice $1 or $2 pop on 0DTs and be golden, right? So I do like that. High risk entry to the downside, 380, right? Get below this psychological level, we're likely to see that 375, which is a $5 move. You can create a great risk to reward off that 380 level. So two high risk entries, 385 for longs, 380 for shorts. Big line in the sand levels, 388 for longs, 372 for shorts. All right? And yeah, let's hop into these individual names. And if anybody has any questions at any point in time, feel free to ask them. Whether it's trading, whether it's personal, whether it's entrepreneurship, feel free to ask them. I'm more than happy to answer. All right? Feel free to ask them. I promise you, I'm more than happy to answer. Let's get into these individual names, all right? And tonight we're going to talk about those trading struggles, right? I asked you guys to comment below on my post in terms of your trading struggles. So let's go ahead and go through those. So if you haven't commented, be sure to go comment. I'll look at it and I'll be happy to answer them. Or actually, we can do something else here. I'm going to create a Q&A. So while I go over these individual names, you guys can comment your trading struggles, and I'll be more than happy to look at them once we're done and go over them. All right, I'm going to take a drink of water, then we'll rock out. Take a drink of water and rock out. Let's get it. So, individual names. First and foremost, Roku. Roku. Everybody hates this stock, including me, right? People call it Broku, and it's for a reason, man. It's a tough cookie, man. Tough cookie. But we look absolutely beautiful, right? Monthly chart, beautiful. Weekly chart, beautiful, right? We have a massive bullish engulfing here. Absolute beautiful chart, right? Had a positive earnings report, sent this thing flying, right? Ton of strength, and sent my FOMO flying as well. My mentees know we were looking to enter at 80 on Friday. I hesitated, right? I was looking for this nice break and retest of 80, and I absolutely hesitated on my entry. As you guys can see here, came right down to 80, and I didn't enter, right? Look what happened after that. Seen it move all the way into 90. $10 move. Those contracts went up over 2,000%. 2,000%. That means if you put in $100, you would have made back $20,000. Right? Not saying it was realistic to hold that long. Bottom line, it was a massive move that I hesitated on. And it is what it is. But we're going to catch it this week, right? So what we're watching this week is we are watching a pullback or we're watching continuation, right? So on Roku, what we're going to watch is we're going to watch a break above Friday's after hours high, 91.50. So a clean break and hold. Look for that 5-minute candle confirmation. If we don't break with volume, automatically wait for that retest. We have nothing but room into 97.90 and then 100. I also will be watching a pullback into this 85, 86 demand. Excuse me, 84, 86 demand. That is what I'll be watching, all right? So I'm watching this 84, 86 demand for a bounce, or I'm watching a break and hold above 91.50 to go long for an absolute moon mission. All right? And that's what I'm watching on Roku. This is my favorite A+ setup for the week ahead. I love it, I love it, I love it. This is essentially the first day move. And what did we just talk about, guys? We just talked about post-earnings setups. Look at this post-earnings setup. Reported earnings after hours. What day is this? Check this out. After hours on Thursday, right? Reported earnings here. Look what happened Friday. So this is the first, right? This is the earnings. Look what happened the next day. When you have those earning catalysts, it's like rocket fuel for the stock. Doesn't matter whether it's up or down. If it's a quality catalyst like earnings and there actually is solid backing to that earnings report, we see moves like this. And I want to be a part of them every time, right? I don't want to catch the whole move. I don't care to. I just want a piece of the pie. I just want my little cut and I'm out of it, all right? I don't want the whole thing. If I catch the whole thing, I'm happy, but I'm not greedy, right? But it's a perfect example of a post-earnings setup, right? Essentially, this is the first day move. So we're looking for that second day continuation, or we're looking for that pullback for a nice bounce to see that second day continuation, essentially, right? Google. I don't like saying this word because mine goes crazy. So I'm going to say goggles, right? So goggles means this stock right here. What I am watching, right? Another one. Look at earnings, right? Let's go back and look here. Right? Earnings. Nice consolidation. Big move up on earnings. We're seeing a nice consolidation here. So this is a nice rally base. Rally base can be a continuation or a reversal pattern, but I like this for continuation, right? So what I'm watching on goggles is I'm going to watch a break and hold above 133.75, right? Nice break, hold. There's not volume. Wait for the retest. Look to go long into 136.30. I'll be watching a bounce off of this hourly demand. This is high risk, 129, right? My main bounce level is going to be this 126, 127, right? So high risk entry at 129, but the main add point is going to be down here at 126, 127. All right? Yeah, Alphabet. I'll say Alphabet. Or I'll say Goog. No, Alphabet sounds better. So Alphabet, yeah. We're going with Jason. All right? That's what I'm watching on Google. BA, right? And it's so funny. The two names that we usually all hate the most, BA and Roku, they look the best, right? If you look at BA here, I want to talk about this chart for a moment. Absolutely beautiful, right? Look at BA. It consolidated for 6 months straight, right? 6 months. You had a beautiful rally, then we had the base, and now we're seeing the rally. This is a rally base rally. Beautiful chart. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful chart, right? Tons of value here for you new traders. Everything I'm going over right now, go back and look at these stocks and say, why is Felony watching this, right? Look at my levels. Compare them to yours. Where did he get this level from? There's so much value in these lives that a lot of people don't understand what to look for, and I'm going to let you guys know what to look for. Use my levels, right? Use my rationale to further your education. Hey, okay, why is he watching this? Where did he get that from, right? Think of it in that manner. You got to have a different perspective. Don't just sit here and say, oh, he's giving me free trade ideas. There's a lot of value in here. Make sure you guys are taking advantage of it. All right? But BA, beautiful. 6-month consolidation now broken. Seeing incredible relative strength against the overall market. And we have a beautiful setup for the week ahead. First things first, 240, Friday's highs, beautiful psychological level. Looking for a clean break. Hold above. If there's not volume, wait for that retest. We have room in the 245, 248.25, and then 250, 252. I will also be watching a pullback into 230, 232 for a bounce. That is what I'm watching on BA, right? And if you notice, Roku, post-earning setup. BA, post-earning setup, right? Very, very quality names. Then I want to talk about an actual sector. EVs, right? China names, very strong, and these are very small account friendly, right? Very small account friendly. So last week, these EV and China names got incredibly strong. We have beautiful names to trade here on XPEV, Neo, and Lee. These are three names that encourage small accounts to watch, right? They're very liquid and they move extremely well, and they're actually very volatile. And they move nice in terms of option contracts as well. So XPEV, as you guys can see here, beautiful weekly Maribozo, massive breakout with volume. Looks great. Looks great, looks great, looks great. Not only does it look great, but we have a beautiful level to trade from, right? So what we're going to watch here on XPEV is we're going to watch this beautiful demand, right? This was a big supply, right? That was broken, so now it's demand, right? Just like support turns into resistance, resistance turns into support, supply turns into demand, and demand turns into supply when it's broken, right? So it just flip-flops. What we're going to watch on XPEV is continuation above this 23.95, so a nice break and hold above that. We can look to go long into 25 and 26. I will also be watching a retest of that structure. Resistance turn support for a bounce at 21.50, 22 for a long position, right? So watch this previous retest for longs or above that 23.95. Call it 24, all right? This is one of my favorite setups. Roku, XPEV, and BA, top watches. Neo, I know a lot of you guys trade this name. Beautiful name for the week ahead. We just had a macro breakout of this major resistance here. You guys can see we were pinned below this for pretty much the past year. We just broke out, so we're looking for a retest of this 14 area, right? As you guys can see here, this was a major resistance, and now it is broken, so now it becomes support, right? So what we're watching is essentially just a break and retest. We're looking to enter on the retest at this demand for a move higher. Right, so we're watching a 14.2 bounce, or we're looking for a break and hold above this 15 psychological level for a move higher. So look for that break and hold, that 5-minute candle confirmation, nice convincing break above the level. Wait for that 5-minute candle to close. That's called a break and hold. If it does not break with volume, wait for the retest. When it comes down to retest, enter stop loss below or stop loss below that breakout candle low. Define your risk, rock out. We got room to run, all right? That is what we're looking for here on Neo, BA, Roku, XPEV. Last one I want to talk about is Li Auto. These three run together. XPEV, Neo, and Li Auto. They're actually all competitors. They all sell electronic vehicles, right? EVs. Beautiful chart here, right? As you guys can see here, we're working our way back to all-time highs, right? We just broke out a massive trendline resistance here on Li Auto. We're working our way back to all-time highs. Technically, if you want to be technical here, we have a bullish engulfing / a Maribozo candle on the daily, right? It engulfed the previous candle, and it's a Maribozo with rising volume. I love this setup. This is absolutely beautiful. We just cleared a major resistance. So if we look at this chart here, we can see 1, 2, 3 different times we've seen a massive rejection off this supply. So now that this supply is broken, we had a nice convincing break above it. Guess what? In terms of this chart, which is the weekly, if you want to take a break and hold in the 5-minute, this is what you want it to look like. You want a nice convincing close above the level. So this is a perfect example of what the chart should look like when you're trading on the 5-minute time frame. And this is actually a perfect example of what the chart you want it to look like on any time frame. So if you want to take a break and retest or a break and hold on a higher time frame, guess what you have to do? Buy more time. The same way you trade a 5-minute time frame, the same way you trade a daily time frame. You just buy more time. So this is the weekly time frame. If I wanted to trade this break and hold or break and retest, guess what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to buy time, because it's not going to play out like it was on a 5-minute time frame, because the time frames are substantially different. So take that into account when you're trading on those higher time frames. Make sure you're buying time. But what we're watching for the week ahead is a retest of that massive weekly resistance that is now support. So we're going to be watching for a pullback into this 41 or 40, right? So we're looking for a break and hold above Friday's highs for continuation to the upside, which is going to be 43, or we're looking for a pullback into this 41, 41.50 area for a nice bounce to enter a long position. I also do like this 40 level. As you guys can see here, has a lot of respect, so I would be willing to honestly scale in down to 40. I plan on trading these names on equity. Right? The reason being is because they're so cheap, right? It's $23, $14, $42, right? So I can afford to trade this on equity. I'll just buy a substantial amount, right? I'll trade 1,000 lots, 10,000 lots on Neo's $14. So if I buy, 1,000 shares of Neo, $14, it's 14,000. So I would probably buy 10,000, which would be a $140,000 position, and that means for every dollar it moves, I would be getting the ticks that I needed in terms of the 10,000 mark, right? So according to your risk, make sure you trade. You know, of course, if you have a small account, you can trade options, but if you have a bigger account, I actually encourage you to trade equity. You have a lot more defined risk. Do I trade ICT? No. I'm not against it, right? I'm against, you know, people pushing strategies on other people, but I'm an advocate for work what works for you. So if it works for you, work it. That's all I care about. Yes, I do trade futures though. I do trade futures. But yeah, man, we've covered the whole watch list. We've went over ES, NQ, QQQ, SPY. We've been over Roku, BA, XPEV, Neo, and Lee. Let's take about 5 or 10 minutes and go over some names that you guys are watching. I want to go over these couple other names as well. QS, keep this on watch for small accounts. Meta, also keep Meta on the side watch. I like this a lot. This name's been relatively strong after a positive earnings report as well. If Meta gets above 330, we're likely to see continued upside into that 350 area. I also do like a bounce on Meta off of 310, 312, so make sure you guys are keeping an eye out for that, right? This is kind of a side watch on Meta, but I like this 312, 310 bounce, right? So Meta, watch it set an alert at 330, then watch a pullback into this 312, 310 for a bounce. That's what I like here. There is a higher risk bounce on Meta off this previous structure, which is about 316, 318. Apple, I'm not charting any stocks that have earnings. I always chart them after earnings. But Disney, I like as well. Disney's a great either-or setup. This was actually on the watch list. If you look at the chart here, Disney's consolidating in a beautiful, nice little descending triangle here. So we have opportunity in either direction for Disney, right? It's sitting here at a nice descending triangle, forming a nice little double bottom. If we zoom in further here, we notice that, hey, Disney has a potential inside bar here, so this could go either way. If you notice on my watch list, I have it for either or setup, right? So what we can watch on Disney is we can watch a break and hold below these daily lows or above this daily candle high. So if you want to go long on Disney, wait for a break and hold above 87. Look to catch that move into 87.85. Above 87.85, it's a moonshot into 90. Downside, this name's already been relatively weak, so watch for a break and hold below 85. Look to go short down into 84. Below 84, it's a free fall. Right, so this is a great either-or setup for the week ahead. And what I encourage you guys to do is go to your chart, click on the levels I just mentioned, add alert, say crossing up for the upside level, say crossing down for the downside level. That way you'll get notified when it happens. You can go look at the chart, make sure it's quality entry, rock out, define your risk. But yeah, Disney looks great. Tesla, let's check out Tesla. I don't know why y'all are so in love with Tesla, man. Everybody loves Tesla. Tesla right now, I don't see any value in, right? Chart is kind of blah for me right now. But below 253, watch Tesla below 253. Do the same thing I just did with Disney. Create an alert at 253. If it's crossing below, go look, see if an entry is valuable, and rock out. Nvidia. Nvidia's just been pushing new all-time highs. I do like Nvidia. It's been relatively strong, especially with that earnings move above those all-time highs. So what I would watch on Nvidia is another push above all-time highs. So watch set an alert a little bit before 480. If it breaks 480, look to take that break and hold it, break and retest. I do like a push back into that 450, 440 demand as well. But anywhere in this area, it's kind of like a no trade for me with Nvidia. It's just a chop zone. IWM, let's check it out. Daily chart's pretty wonky up here, so I've kind of been staying away from it. Nice little consolidation. I'll wait for a break of this rally base. Levels you can keep an eye on though for IWM. Watch this 198.60 for the upside, and then watch that 192.90 for the downside. All right, that is what you can watch on IWM. That is what I would personally keep an eye on. Do the same things we did with Disney and Tesla. Right, set alerts at those levels. But this is also a no trade zone, just like we went over on QQQ and SPY. It's a little consolidation. I don't have any desire to want to trade this bullshit, and neither should you, right? Think of it like this, guys. Is this setup trading within these choppy conditions, which we visually identified? Hey, these are choppy conditions. If you are rational, right? If you think with a rational mindset, you're going to tell yourself, hey, I don't want to trade this. This is not worth risking my capital or mental capital on. You want to make sure when you are trading in the market, the setup that you are trading is worth risking your capital, mental capital on. A lot of you guys are trading all willy-nilly. And you guys don't understand. You taking those subpar quality trades, taking losses you don't need to take, holding on to losers you don't need to hold on to, are causing you to develop market trauma, which later down the line is going to ultimately, excuse my French, fuck you, right? It's going to be a pain in the ass to get over that trauma that you developed through poor trading. So make sure you're instilling those good habits now to get over that. Fuck the gains, fuck the profit, fuck the percentages. Focus on developing as a trader, being better than you were yesterday, understanding who you are as a trader. What setups do you perform best? What market conditions do you perform best with? Green days, red days, right? What time do you trade best? What position size do you trade best? Work on establishing who you are as a trader, defining your edge in the market, so that way you can cater to your weaknesses, you can cater to your strengths, right? That is most important, right? Fuck everything else, right? That is most important, and you guys know I always talk about it. There's a systematic approach in terms of being a consistently profitable trader. 1, getting the proper education, knowing what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Number 2 is putting time in the market. 3 is journaling. I guarantee you, if I'm lying, I'm dying, right? Listen to me, you guys. 99.9999% of your problems, your answer is in your journal. I promise you. If you journal for a month straight, the data that you're going to have off of those 20 trading days, because there's only, obviously 5 trading days a week, 4 weeks, 20 days, right? So 20 trading days a month, if you journal all 20, the data that you're going to have at the end of that month is invaluable, right? Like it is priceless. You're going to have 20 trading days of analytics on yourself. What are you best at trading? What position size did you trade best? How long was your hold time, right? And fortunately, there is a platform out there that does all of that for you. You just have to input your trades. TradeZilla, right? I don't advocate for much in this market, but TradeZilla is great, right? TradeZilla is great. Or you can just, live trade with me on a daily basis, right? And you can just say, fuck it, I'm just going to eat off Felony forever. All right, let's get into these Q&As. I want to go look at these. I told you guys I would answer them, so let's go ahead and hop into it. We got quite a few here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to take a drink and we'll rock out. Diggity, I'll do that one moment. Let's get back to our other screen here since we're going to be chopping it up. First things first, my man Flex said, when is a good time to put size on a trade? It's never a good time to put size on a trade if you are not a consistently profitable trader, right? Putting size on a trade is essentially telling yourself, hey, I'm going to see a bigger P&L that I'm not comfortable with, right? If you're not profitable, you don't deserve to put risk on, right? Position size is earned. I'm not trying to be rude here. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. Position size is earned. If you're not profitable, you're not consistent, you shouldn't be sizing up, right? I had a 3-month rule. If I was consistent with one position size for 3 months, I earned a little bit more. 1 contract to 2 contract, 2 contracts to 3 contract, 3 contracts to 4, etc., so on, so forth. All right. So take that as you would like. How do you improve your profit factor? I'm struggling separating my average win from my average loss. Defining your risk, right? That is most important. What are you risking for what are you potentially making? If you're trading off a system that is less than a 2-to-1, you will continuously struggle with that profit factor, which is most important. Your win rate is irrelevant, right? It doesn't matter. You can have a 99% win rate and still be unprofitable. You can have a 1% win rate. Literally, you can only have 1% green trades and be profitable. You know that, right? You can take 99% of the time and take losses, but that 1% time you have a green trade, it could be a massive green trade that wipes out all those losses, right? So you're profitable. And you can have a 99% win rate, all your trades be green, but that one loss you take wipe out all those gains. So win rate is irrelevant, right? And I'm going to tell you guys why. It's irrelevant because you could be unprofitable with a 99% win rate. But it is relevant because if you have a high win rate, what does that tell you? That tells you you have a good strategy. You have a working strategy, right? So that is a good part about win rate. What you want to focus on is profit factor and your R multiple. That is important, right? Having a great key level but not having confidence to execute, or holding that great play for the whole move. GD comes down to understanding who you are as a trader, right? Trusting your analysis. You have to earn and build trust. Confidence isn't just something that is there, right? It's unknowing, it's uncertain, right? So you have to build that confidence. What I tell all my mentees, execute. Win, lose, or draw, you can learn something. Trade with money you're comfortable losing, so you remove the emotional aspect from that money in the actual trade. That allows you to focus on the chart, plan your trade, define your risk, stick to your fucking plan. Right? If you have to, tie your hands together. Plan your trade, right? So right now we have a trade on Roku, right? What I did, I promise you guys, this is what I did, and I can show you guys my journal from back in 2020, 2019, 2021, right? What I would do is I would say, okay, I'm watching Roku break and hold above 91.50. I'm watching Roku a pull back into this demand at 84.86 for a bounce. What I would do is if I got the confirmation Roku broke and held 91.50, I made my entry, right? Obviously, if I made an entry at 91.50, I'm going to use a stop loss back below 91.50 or that breakdown candle low, right? So I have two different options here. Once I enter, I have my stop loss. I have my target, my take profit, 97.90. What I would do is I would sit there and I would not press sell until one of these happened. I forced myself to sit there. Unless I had a reason to exit, I was not exiting. My take profit wasn't hit, my stop loss wasn't hit, I was not exiting. Why would I? Why? I spent time looking at the chart, doing multi-time frame analysis, my top-down analysis. I planned my trade. I know that the stock has room to run. Why am I selling? Right? Is there a reversal happening? Is there news in the market? Is this trade invalidated? If it's not invalidated, why are you exiting? If it is invalidated, you need to exit, right? But that is what I did for myself. I planned my trade. I stuck to my fucking plan. So disciplined. And what that did was build confidence and trust in myself. Hey, your analysis is correct. And it builds self-control. It builds discipline, right? That is what I encourage you guys to do. Dustin, I appreciate that, man. I love SPHR. I love SPHR. If you guys remember, I talked about this like 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? We bought SPHR equity right here. I told everybody buy it. I told everybody. We entered equity right here. Right? And this is beautiful. This is a beautiful chart. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see the magnitude of this trade. Right? This is one of my biggest long-term holdings right now. It's second to Verizon. Verizon, I have my biggest position, but this is my second biggest position. I told everybody to buy SPHR equity right here. Look at the move it's made since. Right now, it's up roughly 20%. 20% since we entered. And that's on equity. Look at the level it just broke. My game plan with SPHR is if it comes back to retest 39 and 40, what I'm going to do is add more, right? So my ultimate target, for those of you that are holding this with me, is right now we're testing a major resistance. This essentially was my target at 44, right? So I honestly should have trimmed on Friday. Let me see. I should have trimmed on Friday. I'm going to check my account. Yeah, I should have trimmed on Friday. Fuck. We're up 24%. Yeah, I should have trimmed on Friday. We're up 24%. This was my target. As you guys can see, this is a major resistance. I should have trimmed here Friday, but I didn't. But anyway, right, SPHR for a setup that you guys can watch. Watch a pullback into 39.40. I plan on adding more here. Right, that is my plan. Add more at this 39.40. Monday, I'm probably going to take some profit, to be honest with you. So if we open around this previous resistance at 43, 44, I'm going to take some profit. I'm probably going to sell half and then hold half. Now I'm probably going to sell 75%. So just so you guys, transparency, I'm going to post it in the chat as well so you guys can see it. But just transparency, I'm going to sell some on Monday, wait for the pullback, and just hold some. If it breaks out, we'll have some to hold. We have room all the way into this 48, and then pretty much all-time highs at 56. So this is a beautiful chart. I love it. We broke that massive resistance. Now it's just a moonshot. Right, you guys can see here, this was an absolute huge resistance. But yeah, I like it. Let's see what else we got here. How to have good technical analysis. First, education. Get the education, right? That is most important, right? Knowing what to do and when to do it. Second is repetition, right? Just like you go into the gym, the more you do it, the better you get. How to prevent myself from getting stuck in a trade when you're trying to sell. Buy the ask and sell the bid. If you have to, sell market. That's the best way to get out. Three words to define success in the market. 1, consistency. 2, discipline. 3, discipline, consistency, self-control. Yeah, patience, discipline, self-control. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that is what I would say. That is what I would say, guys. Honestly, that's what I would say. But I do have to wrap it up here, guys. I gotta head out. But yeah, man, great night tonight. I do want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys, seriously, for taking time out of your night to come kick it with me. And man, that means a lot, seriously, for taking time out of your Sunday to come hang out. I hope you guys got some value from this, seriously. If you did, please take 1 second and hit that like button. And yeah, man. If anybody is interested in showing some love, here's a link that you can go to. If you want to get a head start on the mentorship waitlist, I highly encourage you fill out the form now. I'll post that for you guys right now to my website if you guys are interested in getting on the waitlist. I could be wrong here, but I think we're starting this new class August 8th. I think there's 1 or 2 spots. So if you fill it out now, there's I would say probably about a 50-50 chance that you might get accepted. So if you're interested in joining the mentorship, I would say fill it out now, and you have regardless if you get selected or not, you're locked in for the next month. You always will receive an email, whether it's acceptance or denial. And I'll give you a reason as well. I respond, I read all of them, I go over them all myself. I ask everybody to be as thorough as possible when filling it out. But yeah, man. Appreciate you guys for taking time out of your night to come kick it with me. If you guys would take a second and hit that like button if you really want to show love, you guys can tag me on Instagram. We'd be happy to repost it. But yeah, man, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed this live tonight. Once again, thank you for taking time out of your night to come kick it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And yeah, keep an eye out for the watch list in the morning. Mentees and Patreon fam, y'all guys already know the vibe. I'll drop the link in the morning for my chart. You guys have everything. And yeah, man, you guys have a great night. I'll catch you guys